How you doing? Thanks for
I
coming.
hear you, but I again don't see you. Strange.
You can't see me.
Hmm.
What about you, Epiphany?
Hmm.
I mean, well, thank you for joining.
You
I
you went you
screwed
went
up the
robot
first.
again.
Oh, really? I'm telling you, that's the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I'm gonna turn off the Wi-Fi. We're gonna go 5G instead. I trust that to do better at this point with my Wi-Fi outside.
Yeah.
Anyway, uh, so that was an interesting break. Freaking Doc Lab, always with the foil rare. I can't believe that guy, man.
Yeah.
You
I
saw
was trying
that, right? That's bull.
to I was trying to say it earlier too that like the first 3 packs in a row, all the comments were cut wrong. It was strange. You didn't
Yeah, I
catch it till
saw
like the second, third one. Yeah.
the top to bottom, and then the one of the foils
Yeah. The
had
island.
well, besides for that, there's even like that silver mark on that other foil. That was kind of interesting too.
Yeah,
You
for
know.
sure. For
Cheers.
sure. On the arrest. Yeah. Absolutely. Is anybody else able to see Ed? I'm just curious in the chat. I see we're starting to get people trickling in. So,
Yeah, true. There's 4 people. Can you guys see me, or is Kylan? Is Kylan the only one who sees like blank?
or is it
That's the
opposite?
question.
Yeah, or you guys can't see me, maybe.
I can see you. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. I don't know. It seems like a few movies that could go in there. Man. So yeah, that was a good break. You've been hitting up all the pre-release. Well, you've been hitting up the pre-release, and that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
bad. I was talking about that, man. Not just you. I've been seeing it on Facebook. I've been hearing it in other places, man. It seems like this is a hell of a.
well, so funny story. I always pre-release, right? It's like I love to pre-release. I like to see the new sets, but normally, like lately, it hasn't been overly crowded, so we don't, buy ahead of time. We just go in and we get our pre-release when we play. So our buddy, who hasn't played in months, was like, "Hey, we should pre-order just in case." And I'm like, "We don't need to pre-order." He's like, "No, let's just pre-order because in this one, it's like the old Tarkir where you get to choose what you want to be." And then go from there. So I was like, sure, yeah, I guess that makes sense in case like more people want a specific color type or archetype. We should definitely make sure that we choose the one we want. So we pre-ordered. While we were there, we watched them turn away at least 10 different people that walked in that were like, "Hey, I'm here to pre-release." Like, sorry, like we're already sold out. Like we've already hit our
That's crazy.
maximum for today. You can
Turning
come back
away
tomorrow.
people.
You can come back Sunday, but we are sold out for Friday. Like we cannot bring you in.
That's crazy, man. Turning
Yeah,
away people at a pre-release nowadays. That and I think that what you touched on has a lot to do with it. Actually, being able to choose
yeah.
from the beginning the theme and the general thrust of your attack.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean,
it was
that
fun
that
for
helps.
that. Yeah, and I feel like that's what brought more people out. Is they were like, "Oh, this kind of feels like older Magic again, a little bit, like a little more, adding some flair, a little style to it." But
Yeah, I mean, it
it was
strikes me as more of an older Magic set too. Like, how was the opening experience?
well, they added in like a pack in there specifically for your 3 colors. Like I went Abzin. Um, Mardu was probably the best color overall, but you once you open your packs and stuff and start building, you really were already kind of pushed into your colors. And if you wanted to get creative, like if you open some bomb rares outside of your colors, maybe you could try to play a little bit. But
Mm.
it the best thing is it kind of funneled you in a direction. So not only did it make like newer players have an easier out to like play their cards and feel comfortable, but it also made like the veterans kind of be able to tweak it a little bit with the way the fixing was to be able to get a little creative. Like I played 4 color, but I was mainly Abzan, and I just splashed in a couple Soul Tie cards to have some fun with it, and it worked really well. But it kind of opened the doors up.
I mean, you can plan a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if those like theme packs are going to be something in the future. Because that's kind of different. You know what I mean?
I think
Printing
that
product. like
They did it with the previous Tarkir set, so I think they were trying to follow a theme. But Wizards,
Mhm.
they change things up all the time, so I think that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
But I will say though, the the packs the pre-release kits themselves, I didn't check with the store, but like TCG Player was selling them for like $50 per, and we of course for the release, it was $30. You got yours and you played for price structure. So I guess these are kind of rare. I mean, I watched people hitting many of the big hits just from throughout it. Like my buddy Sean, he hit the Mox Jasper in the pre-release form. I opened a Scalding Tarn in one of my play booster packs. Like it was a lot of like, oh wow, there's a lot of good
Wow.
cards that were coming out of these too. So a lot of fire just in play
I've
boosters.
seen a lot of that Jasper popping up, man. I feel like it's pretty well sprinkled, healthily sprinkled throughout the packs.
I mean, I'm not probably the only person saying it, but it's gonna be a $5 card in about a month or two.
Hey, but so was Mox Amber until what's his name bought them all.
Fair. There, his only big decision he ever made. And then he's like, "Sold heavy excavations,
Look,
go."
and it wasn't even a good decision because it didn't pop until it became useful
Yeah,
later on. Like he had already made his huge purchase and nothing happened
yeah.
until like later on when people are like, "Oh, we were gonna use this now." Then it goes out. Yeah, this freaking
Well,
guy, man.
even then, like people even say like Mox Jasper is just way too conditional, obviously for what it is, right? But if they start
Yeah,
coming out with
it's not
change,
truly a Mox.
yeah, like Mox Jasper right now, there is a in standard. I think I sent you guys a link to it. There is a turn one win combo that involves Mox Jasper with the ley
Yeah, you
lines
did.
from Dustmorn, and so like there is, but it's literally like you have to draw the exacties. So it's not like it's really easy to do, but like the fact that there actually can be a turn one win in standard is pretty insane. But
Yeah, I mean,
if they
I'm
if
not
they were
gonna
to make
fear. That's like pulling like a royal flush, man. Like, come on,
yeah,
it's
for
not gonna
sure,
happen.
for sure. Odds are low.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you start thinking about like, okay, so it's implemented now, you have to have a dragon to make it work, right? What if they implement changelings or that have any creature type to them and they're low cost, like because they're not thinking they print that card, and then next thing you know, it starts blowing up again. That's the way I see that card waking up. But right now, it's too conditional. I mean, it's Commander's Dream, obviously.
I think it's gonna be eternally too conditional. Aside
Mhm.
from the zero casting cost and the name, I don't think it's really a Mox. You
No, it
know?
isn't. It isn't.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it was.
even
It was a
stuff
cash
like
grab.
Chrome Mox, like you had some BS to do beforehand, but after that, it's
Yeah.
this is not.
I mean, they were,
You know what I
you know
mean?
what it was? I think it was like $65, $70 for the base copy at when they first like hyped it up on
Oh
release, and
God,
now it's like a $25, $20 on TCG Player, and that's before normal sellers can list outside of like the premium stores that are allowed to pre-sale, right? So
we need to do pre-selling, bro. Just only pre-sell cards.
I wish I mean, you'd have to have your own platform to do that because on TCG they block you unless you have like a high level or they show that you're an in store. So yeah,
I got you.
yeah,
I got you.
we have to make our own. What we got here? Who's in
Just
the chat?
only pre-sell. You don't sell singles. You don't open packs. Nothing. You just sell
Yeah,
pre-sale
right. Just
singles.
pre-sales. Let's go into it. Speculative pre-sales. I like it. It's just another one of the
God.
ones where they like. I mean, Aether Spark was fine for cereal, but they seem to be creating like they think what there is the powerful card in the standard is the cereal. I would rather have the Elspeth, the Ugin, any of those as the
I
cereal
was about to say Ugin would be a bigger cereal in terms of like I think people would want it more. Or
card.
Mox is a Mox. Like I get that one. The Ether Spark doesn't. Ether Spark, man.
Yeah.
That freaking card, man. I don't know what they were thinking with that.
Well, I mean, the good news is they added on artifact on it, so at least it adds another level of removal to it. But if you can get it going and you can't stop it, it's pretty much amazing.
I mean, but come on, there's like if you know what I mean, like there's a lot going on there. I don't know. It just seems like a bit much in a game where like things are happening so fast nowadays. Like really, it just seems a bit much. You know what I'm?
Yeah, I mean, it goes off. It really does. It's amazing.
Well,
But
you just froze for a second. What'd you say?
I just said it goes off. Like it's just one of those cards that, like, if you don't have removal on the spot for it, like your opponent's so far ahead of you.
If you're not prepared for it, I get that. But
Yeah.
okay, so, but like in the long run, are people going to be using it in like Commander or
Absolutely.
Yeah, you think it's gonna have like a real home in a lot of decks, or just very specific ones?
I think more than not. I mean, it's not. I mean,
It's
it's
an
big.
artifact. Look, it's an artifact. Like it's not not specific. So I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
they'll make something better
Mox
eventually, like
Kush. There you go,
quicker.
Mox Kush.
Yeah, he said Mox Zirconium too. That's
There
pretty
you
funny.
go. Well, here you guys, for you guys to see it and see if we can put it on there. The old.
You need to shine like
Uh,
oh, there you go. Shine the light off. Yeah, mixture.
there we go.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, that's the win right there.
Traded in my extended art jeweled lotus and picked up a metalworker. Nice.
That's a good trade in me.
Yeah, I like metalworkers. What back in the day, I was buying them, not buying them out. I was just buying them because I was like $50 is too cheap. I had a bunch graded. They sold like them slowly, just to
Ripper Blood. Yeah,
buy
it's the
other.
dragon scale crawfish. It's the dragon scale form of it. Yeah, honestly, I remember seeing the foreign versions of metalworkers for like $25 to $30 for a while there. Like they were cheap too, and they even went back up to 100.
I bought a metalworker from 60 all the way to 120. I bought.
Jeez.
This.
Don't worry, you and I probably also got rid of our
Usually
Gaia's
what
Cradles for really cheap too, probably back in the day.
dude, I sold a very high grade, a 9.5 quad plus, so 0.5 away from a 10.
Jeez.
I did get 2,500 for it, but during the bubble, that thing, I probably could have did 5-6 times that.
Oh yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I started putting together my
Yeah,
grading pile again, so it's big. I
bro.
kind of did a speculative grading pile, so
I did something stupid, and I looked at some of my really old orders, and I saw something I sold that I was like, "Oh God, help me!" I sold the top pop BGS 10, the only BGS 10, Arabian Nights Eye for an Eye, freaking uncommon 10. Ah, that's rough to see nowadays. But
to
that's
sell any
probably
10
one.
Arabian Nights is ridiculous. You don't
I
have
had 2 that I sold, man, but selling those ones and making bank on it is probably some of the reason I have what I do, because I kept on rolling it in,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But
But it's also the reason you got into like grading more and more, because you saw the ability to find cards that are in good condition,
damn,
and then yeah,
eye for an eye, man. Like the desert is one thing because it's literally the most common card by a lot, because they did a lot of them. They did like 11. It was like a C11 when the next most common card is like a C5. You know what I
yeah.
mean? On the
I could
sheet,
have
there's
predicted.
freaking 11 of them. That's
I
crazy.
I could have predicted Stefan to say, "Wow, 10." He would have been like, "You sold a 10?"
Yeah, I know something similar.
He would have been
Yeah,
like,
but I was looking at I was disappointed that was the one that I didn't realize. I knew it was a high grade and a like top pop at the time, but I thought it was a high 9.5. I didn't think it was a 10. And now I'm yeah, that's rough. I have 10s from Legends and Arabian and Antiquities, but no more Arabian Nights 10s. That's rough, man.
"Cat on the blog."
Yeah, it's disappointing, man. Oh, look at him. He or she.
It's a he.
All
The
right.
guy you met in Vegas, Sean. It's his cat.
Okay,
Not
I was
mine.
about to say, I never heard you talk about a cat. I
he
used to have cats when I was a kid.
he loves to sit on the porch with me, so I got to give him the love.
Yeah. Cats are great like that. They're like, most of the time, they're like living plushies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. He's a good
Do
dude.
you think? I used to have a really funny one.
He's very close to a dog than he is a cat. He's one of those. Like,
Yeah, I had a weird one. She would eat anything. She would eat peanuts with me. I don't
He,
know.
well,
Yeah, yeah.
he's a Greek yogurt lover. That's his thing. Like if you rip the lid
See,
off the
that's
Greek
good.
yogurt, he put it down. He like devours it. That's his attack.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah. But like he's the
Used to
way
play
like you could
fetch.
open one. You could open one and he'd be like upstairs like a mile away and he'll just come
Yeah,
sprinting out of
here
nowhere.
it come running.
He hears the noise
Freaking
of the yeah.
hurricane comes
Yeah.
down the hall.
For some reason the sound of the peeling of the aluminum foil on a Chobani is like his reaction to sprint.
Those high pitch ones, man. They get those high pitch sounds.
Hmm.
Like that's the you shake the treats and it makes that clacky sound in the
Oh yeah.
jar. They
And
always
they
come
know.
looking for that. Yeah, they know.
The
That's like a
Pavlov's cat over here.
freaking Ash is like deaf now. He's getting old, by the way. This guy is not doing wonderful. Let's
Poor
just say
Ash.
that. Yeah, he can't come downstairs anymore for two reasons. His back legs are starting to give out, and he'll just piss all over everything. And I can't risk that, you know.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure. That's sad. Poor Ashy boy. What a good
yeah,
doggy.
yeah, yeah. He used to be on the streams all the time, you know,
Yeah.
back in the day.
If you
But
guys got if you got the emotes for Ash, throw them up right now. Give him some love.
yeah, right.
Give him some love.
So, but you know, he's one of these dogs. You thought he was
Definitely.
deaf for a while because
Mm.
he's laying there. You yell, Ash, Ash, nothing. But it's selective. It's BS, man.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
He can't eat like anything but his kibbles. He's getting old, man. Josh Edits, how you doing? Good to see you. I know you used to be here too on the streams. But yeah, anyway, so are we talking anything about what we're trying to do soon in the future, or do you not want to talk about that yet until you have more plans?
I mean, we can talk about it. Sure. Yeah, we're here.
Okay, so
We're chatting.
the idea is like, you know, we're both fathers, so we both don't have like complete schedules to just f around on a channel and do as much as we'd like to. You know what I mean? More streaming, more chilling, more videos. I'd love to. I don't have the time. Neither does he. Um, but one thing that we both wanted to get into is kind of ripping more packs and having like pack ripping streams. Okay. So Kylan is going to be leaning towards that end on the channel. More of the games madness, and you know,
Yeah, I think you and I both bring unique principles to Magic the Gathering. You know, like I play a little bit more than you, and you are
mm,
more wise on the collection aspect of it, and I'm more of the chasing the deals aspect, right? So we can bring all
mhm,
different
mhm.
different forms to the game.
Yeah,
The one
yeah,
thing that we both don't do that much on live though is we don't crack as much packs as we could, or like
we
provide to
both would
the
love to do
community.
more. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So, and part of that problem is me having two kids that are so young right now. I any type of schedule is very difficult to maintain. You know what I mean? Except for monthly, I can plan one
Yeah,
a
one
month
live.
and follow
But
through with it. You know?
one live, but all it takes is one baby waking up, and you're like, oh no.
Oh God! And, thankfully, I have Cynthia helping. You know, like
Yeah,
that helps a lot. Let's just say, I wouldn't be able to even do the one live a month if we didn't have that going. You know,
yeah, for sure.
but so yeah, what we're trying to do is more streams that are pack ripping centric, and you know, this is like kind of a old school Magic leaning channel, and I like newer Magic as well. Like not as much as old school Magic. Don't get me wrong. I do like that a lot more,
Hmm.
but I'd like to be into that a little bit more. And quite frankly, the channel can use that little bit of injection of newer viewers as well. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good direction.
I think I'm pretty good about where to put your money inside of newer Magic too. Like I'm pretty good about like
Yeah, no.
when things move, so I can also help people out
So
with that a little bit if people are actually willing to take investment
I
risks.
wouldn't have had you on the channel if I didn't trust that you will say appropriate things in when using your judgment in terms of Magic. I know that you know what you're talking about. Basically, all this time we've been talking, I've been vetting you, Kylan.
Hey, listen, like I said, my hot take right now, two things that are low is Outlaws of Thunder Junction collector boxes. You can find them as low as $185. I know it's a lot of money to
I was
spend, but at the
wondering
same
if
time,
you were gonna mention that, man.
I'll put it
Yeah.
out there to the universe. I'm attacking them right now because there are multiple cards in that set right now from all the different treatments that are over $100 that people are forgetting about because
Yep.
that set was with MKM in a weird time, and then all the other ones
I
blew
was
up.
gonna
But
say two reasons. It was not a good time, and the other reason that subset in there, it was supposed to be like aftermath, right? But then
yeah, the breaking news and the big score. Yep.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
it's like a whole nother actual little tiny subset, of specific cards, and they're kind of tough pulls, no?
Well, I, I I don't think they're that tough. That's what I'm trying to get at. Is that
Mm,
the texture are really hard to pull. Which sure, like if you hit the textured mana drain, cool, good job, you won.
gotcha.
Or like the raised foil, like the Sword of Wealth and Power, sure. But like even the synthesizer, similar Lacum synthesizer, the base copy is $65. The foil
Sick.
is $95. The showcase version is 160 or something crazy right now. Like nobody's talking about that stuff. I opened two in a
Yeah,
box the other day. Two. They paid
two
for the whole
in
box.
one box, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm,
So like
interesting.
just saying, throwing it out there to the universe, like people are sleeping on this set because it doesn't have cereal. We can eliminate that as like for some reason it doesn't have a good base set to it. Like the highest card cost in it for like the actual set's like $11 for the for the mythic and rares, but then it's the other stuff. So people are forgetting about this set, which I love it. So it's working on my favor. But well, I guarantee you that's the one I see in the next 6 months is gonna be over $300. That people are gonna be like, "What happened to this set? It was such a crappy set." So
Just admit it, Kylan. You're hypnotized by Oko's nips.
I mean, that's how I won Twiddler's bounty was getting the textured Oko. So
Oh shit,
I thought
that's
about
pretty
getting
crazy.
it framed. I thought about getting it or graded and sending it back to Twiddler as like a joke.
That's funny. Yeah, that's a good one. You should do that. That's
Yeah.
pretty funny. Oh my god, freaking outlaws. I just think that it was mostly a victim of the time, and people were upset about
Well, the story's
uh,
horrible. Like it ruins the
yeah,
lore of Magic. Like
about
if we
the
want to talk about
lack of meat.
yeah. Like let's take a bunch of cowboys and let's create this whole scenario where we're going wild west and like our planeswalkers are now not the sparks, so we're gonna create them to be like creatures again that are wearing cowboy hats. Like no, this is
No, they were just like they're. It's
people off.
no, they're just like, and now they're cowboys. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, what do we do here? And they just went on a. First, it was detectives with MKM, and then it was cowboys, and everybody was just kind of like, what are you guys doing right now? And then they kind of brought Magic a little bit back, and then the Aether Drift was like, let's do race cars. And you're like,
Yeah.
what are we doing
and,
right now,
and
guys? Like,
and you're doing race car driving and paying homage to Akira on every Chandra art and graphic, left and right. And for some reason, the subset art is Ratfink. It's like, what's your problem, man?
the
Like,
Rat Fink, and it's like,
uh,
no purpose to Magic. Don't get me wrong. Some of those art, in my opinion, are cool. Some of those people hate them, but like that's a weird like. Let's bring them in as like an iconic character. Like let's like use their art.
yeah, it's
Next we're
it's
going to space. I mean, we're we're basically went to space with Infinity, right? Like we're
yeah.
back again.
The
I mean,
cat's
Edge
out
of
of the
Eternity's
bag,
in
bro.
space,
It's
so
safe.
here we go. Edge of
All
Eternities.
right,
We'll see how that one goes over.
Kylan, I want to bring on Prime here, but he hasn't messaged me back. Let me check.
Yeah, if you get a hold of Prime, he wanted to jump on. Yeah, I'll talk. Yeah, I'll hang out for a second while you're looking at him. Yeah. So I will agree. When we're talking about going to space, stupid space offer. Yeah, I agree, Stefan. That we're kind of in like a little tough on like what direction we're going with our storyline here. It's confusing, and you want to make sense of it, but they're really just focusing on the IPs right now. Their universes beyond when it comes to that. They're like, let's hammer these for this year. So hopefully they get back to bringing actual lore back to the game and rewriting it and making it better. So I'm not. I was talking about like literally from a like a value sake. Like it's coming out. Edge of Eternities comes out after Final Fantasy as well because of the fact that people all of their money into that IP, right? So like that's always what happens. And then whether it's a good set or not, people are going to be shy from it, especially right now with the economy, right? Well, let's not talk about that. This is Magic Channel, but right now with the economy being a little down, people are going to have that reaction to it. Like maybe I should be a little hesitant with where I'm spending. Yeah, good treatment, right?
The announcements. There was one of the dudes who worked there held up a card and he said, "This is like some black hole foil or some crap like that we're experimenting. If you find me afterwards, I can show you and all this." And well, I never found the
True.
guy, but that's what that's from. I'm telling you, that's what that's from. That's
Hmm.
I'm looking for Edge of Eternities, man. It does have potential. Like some of the best stuff takes place in space. Starcraft, aliens. What was that?
Listen,
What's the name of that freaking game? Anyway, there's a million things that take place in space that are awesome. So if you do it right, you can it can be good,
well,
man.
the good
you
like,
know.
and the good news about like me being a limited player a lot of the times too is I can
Mhm.
get by, with that stuff because I get to be creative inside of my own game space as it is. So I don't have to stress as much about that. But yes, yeah, I have at least gone into every set optimistic until I'm proven wrong. Like I'm not going in pessimism like I'm never gonna touch this set, right? But I will say that
I
like I will
tried to
make
give
my own
either spark.
assumption pretty quickly about a set after I've touched it and played it a little bit.
I tried to give Ether Spark a shot. I opened up some stuff to see if I could enjoy it, and it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, yeah. Your collector packs. Yeah.
Too, but a lot more than Ether Spark, man. So yeah, it just doesn't do it for me. What can I say? And that's Magic now. They're putting out so much that choose a product that you know.
Not every product is for you. You should be able to take time off from this game. Oh, wait, you don't have those cards that we told you to take time off from, but now you need them again, Coach, I don't know. That's a tough question because I feel like regardless, it's still a mock, so people are gonna chase it heavier, right? And it is the only cereal in the set, so that does give it like a little bit more of a pull. I really do think that card will go down to $5 though, and it'll sit there for a while. And whether you speculate on it rebounding in the future, sure, go ahead. But I'm talking about base copy. I'm not talking about any other version. But the serializer will always have this high premium just because it's so hard to pull. And it's if there was like 10 different serials in the set, I'd say there would be a different level, but it still will be a high number. I don't know. I couldn't give
Yeah,
you an exact number, but yeah,
and I
but
think
but
it
that's
should.
that sorry, I didn't say standard sets seem to be having less serials in them the more recently, right? Like MKM had a couple in it, and then they kind of like distanced from it, right? So it's been one the past two. So
Well, Final Fantasy is different in that it's the first Universes Beyond standard set. Like
well,
that's
yeah,
big.
it's allowed
So
for everything. It's allowed in standard, but it's not just standard, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like
I
but
want to
it
see
is.
something like I don't know, 5 or 10 serialized cards. You know what I mean?
Well, they have
Small,
to.
and I
There's
want
so
to
many
see
different
one
iconic
that's
characters. Yeah, there's so many different
you know
iconic characters and weapons. Like they
they
have to.
got to vary them, man, and that will be like the next set of serial, like one with 100 cards, and then others with 250, and others with 500. You know what I mean? Like that. That's what they
Yeah.
need to do.
That's a good point
Instead
too,
of
Robert Table. It is a Dan Fraser art, so I didn't think about that. That's a good call.
and it's got the old border. It's pretty cool. Like I like what it is. I just don't think it's a strong card whatsoever. Like that's all.
It's just how they add to the game, which they do pretty well. So we'll see. But right now, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Final Fantasy is going to be a cluster F. We'll see what happens with it. Like, I will say though, they put this high watermark, right? It's you see different mainstream stores, not like reselling on eBay, where people are still sitting on these $600 boxes, which that's insane to think about, right? But
It is Ancient Copper Dragon and the theme.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. There's not enough yet. But it's more about the idea of every single universe is balanced come out. But it's more like you're starting at this price. Are you going to push away players, or is it just like, oh, you can get your cards from your play box if you want to keep playing the game? This is more for the collector, right? But there's stores that still have them sitting on their shelves at that price, so they hit their ceiling for what people are willing to spend right now. And then once we get closer and closer, you'll start to see that FOMO happen, right? Which I hope that it's not a bomb of a set and people are putting a lot of money forward at the beginning, but there's no way they ruin that set. It's gonna be
I
great.
think we see rubber banding back and forth
Yeah,
for
yeah, absolutely.
pre-release. I think there's got to be a lot of bouncing of the price, and even after. Like, remember, forget about Lord of the Rings starting out cheap. I'm talking about afterwards when people knew, okay, and it was
Yeah,
starting to improve with the market improving. They were still $200, 30% rubber banding back and forth. It went up to 600 and back down to 400. Like
yeah.
that's major. And I think we see the same thing. I think we see these exaggerated swings more with these crazy FOMO sets like that. So,
But we did
you
well. I
know,
don't think we'll ever get another special edition of IP like Lord of the Rings had. Right? People just thought they were
yeah,
trying to
that
milk
was
us
weird. Two sets of the same cards, man. And at
in
the
the same
first time,
year.
it threw everyone off, man.
Yeah, in the
But,
same year.
those freaking poster cards, it's like, yeah, those are pretty cool.
Guess who took advantage of it?
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I just remember that day that Alpha Investments was like 6 cases or 6 box case, 269 each. And I'm already looking on TCG. I'm like, well, they're already at 350. So like, if
Mm.
I buy this, I can flip it right now. And then like within a month, it was like, oh, these boxes are $1,000. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'm glad I bought that rubber band back at that point. I got 2 boxes. That was it, man. Should have gotten 20, but, you learn with these weird sets, and, like, that was the
Well, right after that was Wild Zilla Drain. Look what it's doing now. It sat for 220 for forever, right? Nobody was caring about it, and then it just spiked. So
I've
I
been a
don't know.
fan of that confetti set since the start, man. It's just, when it came out, it really was, like, the bottom. Like, I remember that MagicCon, it just was, like, it didn't have the positivity that these current ones do, like, it's kind of funny.
I think a lot of people had such high expectations because of the fact that Throne Eldraine was such a amazing set when it came out. Like it was changed. Love Throne of Eldraine. They liked the variants. They liked the collector boxes had uniqueness. Isn't that great? But people hadn't really experimented yet. And then they more and more they like realized, oh wait, no, like this set is bonkers. Like it's got so much to it. It just took a little bit, right? There was a little bit of a pushback because people have this nostalgia factor that they fall for, and they
Yeah.
like sometimes hold on to too long. So I think that's what happened
Well,
with it. And
I think yeah, exactly. Like they weren't willing to accept the new Eldraine versus the old one, but the strength of the subset, man, it's not just like that. It's confetti and like it's difficult to pull, but the difficulty and the treatment helps, right? But it's the fact that they chose good cards. Like I know we've covered that subject, but it's so rare that they do a subset well. You know what I mean? A lot of the times it's a bunch of crap or it's like too loaded or you know what I mean? And then it's like everybody goes for it and too expensive, stuff like that. But it's very rare they do a subset well, and I think it really shows what what a normal Magic product can do, which is kind
well,
of crazy.
Well, not to like. Their top three cards in that were Smothering Tithe, Ristic Study, and Doubling Season, right? And before
Yeah,
that, they had just gotten reprinted and other things. And I think people were kind of just being like, "Are they just running this stuff into the ground?" Right?
the
Like
risk
because
study, especially because it had been in Jumpstart. Like it
yeah,
was
yeah,
just in
and it was a
Jumpstart.
mystery booster. It was a mystery booster card
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So you add that in there. Then they added like two or three variations in there too, where like you could open a Smothering Tithe in non-anime and the anime, and then you could open Doubling Season. Like you were like, well, they added so many different treatments to it. So I think people were kind of like, it's going to zero, when obviously it didn't. So
Yeah, yeah.
I think people just kind of went into it going, they're just
By the way, I think doubling season is a bargain right now. The doubling season confetti, and if you're gonna collect the confetti, now's the time to get that. That's it. Just took the hit from Foundations, and the
yeah.
Foundations shattered version is now the super rare difficult version.
Is,
So that's
is
the
it the
one.
top one? You know what's crazy
Yeah,
about that set? That set and
but
like couple
I don't
like
like it as much. The treatment is better in the
yeah.
confetti. I like better.
But they're starting to add more Japanese treatments and English treatments in the same card, right? You're seeing a lot more. And
Mm-mm.
inside of America, man, the Japanese to English pricing is insanely different. Like it's not like, oh, let me shave off like 5 to 10%. It's like half. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't like that I could pull the top card and still not pull the top card. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, it's like
That's so dissatisfying.
I opened the Llanowar Elf in the Japanese form from Foundations, and like everyone knows what Llanowar Elf is, right? Like anyone who's
Yeah,
played Magic the Gathering knows.
yeah, yeah,
So I don't
yeah.
need to explain to you like like you should understand it, but like I don't get how that card's literally 60% less of its value than the English version. I'm like, what?
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's
Okay.
ridiculous. And
Yeah.
generally specific, confetti in Wilds of Eldraine, there's a subset with a special treatment that the foils look kind of speckled, and that's when we're talking about confetti
Oh
because that's
yes.
confetti treatment.
Yeah.
$100 and get one from freaking. They got one right now. I think they had one. I don't know if they still have, but yeah, I almost
Car,
want to.
Card King needs to get me a near mint Wrathy Dragon for my 9th edition foil set so I can be done. So I got the Fell War Stone on the way. Now I gotta do is get the Wrathy, and I'm done. And I'm done. 8th, 9th. Yeah,
Eventually, or some of it.
maybe.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice, but it's tough, man.
And then
It's
just let
a
me
it's
do it.
a it's a
Yeah.
crapshoot. There, a lot of time and effort and
I
money
don't know. I'm also
sinking
the
into plastic.
we'll we'll see how the pack opening goes along again. We'll see if vintage firing off because I'm sitting on a bunch of boxes just like you that it just people just
Yeah.
don't want to open vintage as much as they used to. So
Well, but
you
that's
know,
part of what we're doing here, man. I think we could incorporate vintage and make it all fun and, open all of it more. I
yeah, for sure.
want to
Have
open
it
up more
all.
Mercadian masks, man. Come on.
Yeah,
That shit's fun.
absolutely.
That's a great set to open because there's just so many great commons and, yeah, man. That's the best. That's what I've been looking at lately, man, is all these, like I want to open Lorwyn for Ponder. That'd
Mhm.
be sick to pull.
That would be sick.
Freaking
That'd be sick. Dude, Lorwyn's like above some of the older sets now too. It's crazy. It's hard to find. It really is. Like you can get
expensive.
tournament packs
And
if you look around. You can get the tournament bricks still for a decent price.
yeah,
But
if you
someone,
can,
I'd be down for Lorwyn if you can get a good deal on
and
it.
you can talk a little bit lower. I'm gonna do Lorman actually. I got a tournament deck brick in recently. So speaking of, I was thinking of this in the first place. But the Lorwyn block, the Scars of Mirrodin block, and what other block? I was thinking of making a video the other day. I'm like, these are some sick Bronze Age blocks
Yeah,
that people should talk about a little bit more often. But yeah, I like those two
Do
blocks, and
like
there was a third one I'm not thinking of right now.
do
But
like
yeah,
Eventide, Shadowmoor, all that. Yeah.
yeah, yep. Like to have, um, like I want to.
Well, I've got 2 full boxes of each of Onslaught block ready to go. 2 Scourge, 2 Legions, 2
That's sick,
Onslaught boxes.
man.
I actually
Yeah,
have 3 Onslaught boxes sealed and the Onslaught. You know,
that's
too much
tournament
Onslaught.
decks, man.
I'm over Onslaughted right now.
Overloaded with onslaught. You know, I always thought was crazy about old foils. You feel like only the tournament deck bricks should have lands, but because the regular packs don't have lands in them, you know what I mean? Like regular non-foil lands. Why should they have foil lands in them? But they do. They do.
Just to get us. Just to get us.
Like right though, like the regular pack, no lands in here.
I
So
mean,
why should there be a foil land when foils replace
it
the card
when you
in
look
the pack?
around, the boxes, like the regular boxes are cheaper, or the tournament bricks are cheaper than the regular boxes of.
Always, always. Really? Hey, but put it this way also. You have 30% more uncommons? Is that true? No, that can't be true. Sorry. Incorrect. Divided by 3. So you get 12 more uncommons per box in a tournament deck brick.
Yeah.
And that can be chains of smog or vapor and all this stuff, and like that's not some BS. That's 12 uncommons that can be of value.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And like cuz every tournament deck has 10 uncommons in it. 3 packs only has 9. That's my reasoning. And
No,
I
I mean
think you
it's
get
there.
more
Logic's there. It
I think
is.
you get more commons too. I
Yeah.
think. Like how many commons are there in a tournament deck? Is it 40?
30?
Because
30? I think it's
if it's
30.
30, that's the same then, but whatever. I thought there was maybe one more or two more. I don't know. I know that there's one more uncommon though, and that's enough of a crazy thing in the long run in terms of, you know, a box.
And I think that's when like Onslaught was when I started seeing in those bricks like the potential for 2 foil rares, right? Like seemed like that time period was more common than it was in the previous ones. So
I feel like I feel like Belgian prints are way more random. Like I encounter more less foil rares and more, like the odds were weird. Like 4 freaking foils in a tournament deck.
Doc Lab, if you're here, that was
That's
wild.
ridiculous, man. Like
That was wild. Yeah, that's unique in itself. Yeah.
can't both be commons that only one can be. You know what I mean? Like, did the random number generator just happen to spit out one for the lands, one for the rares, one for the uncommon? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it.
It just
Absurd.
happened to the stars happened to align for that one pack. Yeah, I don't know.
Is that so absurd? Yeah, I gotta find that video. That's one of the ones I still haven't edited, and I gotta get it up on the
Oh,
channel because
yeah,
that's
you gotta
absurd.
clip that. That's just something that's so rare to the Magic world, you know. So,
That's like a historical pack, man.
any word from Prime, by the way?
No,
Mm, no text. Yeah, sadly, my phone is at like 7% right now, so I'm getting close to my time to leave too.
getting to the edge of what I can do. I'm still a little sick, so my throat is freaking. Yeah, so it was supposed to be opening. We'll give it another. We'll give it till 10, and then we'll bounce out.
Okay.
Um, it
If
was
I die
supposed to
on you, I
be.
die on you, though. Just so you know.
Yeah. No, that. Yeah. It was supposed to be flea market tomorrow, but it's been raining here, so they canceled it. next weekend. I've been waiting. Tiffany, I've been looking for Apocalypse. Let me tell you my opinions. It is more difficult to find out on public places. You can find it on Facebook, and it's not that bad of a price on Facebook. It is very expensive in public places. You shouldn't be paying $1,000 a box right now for Apocalypse.
We
It should be
need
at
like
least.
more European hookups so we can get more boxes over there. Because Apocalypse is
Yeah,
easy
for
to
real.
get. It's so easy to get over there.
Yep. And I was looking for it and a little while ago actually because it was something I was thinking about ripping, but when I looked at the rares, not the rares, not just the rares, the valuable foils in that set, it was not that great compared to a lot of the stuff that we do open, or like I have Judgment, like that's one we're gonna open. That's got better stuff in it. We opened Invasion, that's a bit better too. Odyssey. So yeah, it's like there's just ones I'd rather open more because also if I open a set that only a couple, we can't do that. So that's another part of what we're doing together coming up in the future is we want to be able to fill the breaks on the rarer stuff so that we can open the rarer stuff.
Yeah,
Look,
open it
man,
all because
I'm saying Destiny, there's Destiny breaks and stuff. Like, come on, that would be so sick.
yeah, people want to see a full box. They do. They do. Like maybe
Yeah,
even if they're not
that's what
participating,
I'm
they want to see
saying.
the box out because they want to know. Like it sucks
I
to leave
want
it as a
to as
tease.
well. I just can't afford to
No,
do it all
yeah.
at
I mean,
once when it's just me.
you're trying to provide the service for everyone by saying let's pool everyone together. It's just the numbers have been thin lately for doing it.
Well, I think it's a sign of the market for vintage stuff, and really, my channel has reflected that as well in terms of viewership and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know. I just think it's where vintage are right now.
Yeah,
Where
for sure.
vintage are, where vintage are. You can tell it's getting late.
Yeah. I mean, like, dude, Apocalypse was such a fun set though for everyone who's talking about it in the chat. Like, I mean, that was like, it was when you were starting to see Vindicates when Vindicate was so powerful in Standard or Type 2 at the time, and you had Pernicious Deeds. Like, what?
Great
That
card,
card was broken.
yeah. Great
You know,
cards.
like the Spirit
Yeah,
Monger.
yeah.
Like that card is a uncommon in Dominaria Remastered now. That card was the
And the
best card in
foils
Standard.
are gorgeous too,
Oh
like
yeah,
gorgeous.
absolutely.
I love all that stuff, man.
Yeah,
It's
for
sick.
sure.
Robert Sable, man. You should we just keep watching. Soon stuff will be happening. I was gonna say you should get in on the breaks, but things are happening soon. Okay, yes. Never mind. There he is. The cat. Yes,
He's he's
living
doing the
clutch.
face rub against the phone. He's like, you are neglecting me. How dare you neglect me?
Hey, at least it's not like a kid who'll just go poop.
Yeah.
Just drop a turd in the corner. You
Sadly,
looked away for 1 minute.
sadly we're hitting the inferno time of Florida where it's getting hot. So this.
Oh, yeah. Your card's gonna be curving in the opposite direction. My cards. The too much water.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough life over here, I swear. You try to like buy cards and get them delivered, and by the time it gets to your door, you're like, "Was it like this when I ordered it?"
Just like condensate on the inside of the shrink
Yeah,
wrap.
I'm gonna like build a humidor room, not even like just a box, like a whole room. Like people
That's
used
where
to
you're
have
gonna
like
stream from.
yeah, like people used to develop photographs. Mine will just be designed just to save magic cards.
Oh my god. You'll have to build like a giant cedar room. You'll just be smelling like trees all day.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Uh,
The survival of Florida magic. Let me tell you what. And yet, it's really
I
popular here. It
You
really
don't even
is.
have basements, right?
No, I mean, there are homes that people do have basements, but most of them are designed on like the side of a hill. So
I was gonna
it,
say, isn't that like
yeah,
an uphill struggle?
yeah, it's designed to where like if there was a flood, like they would be fine. But yes, it's very rare to see a basement in Florida.
Yeah, that's some like you're asking for some issues.
Yeah,
Freaking
people don't even build their houses that tall, it's
the
because of
whole
hurricanes.
state is like a sponge of stone, like and water, like underneath everything. It's
Oh yeah,
crazy, man.
oh yeah,
You have
oh
like
yeah,
so many natural springs. It's weird, and it's all fresh water coming from like the center of the earth.
oh
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Hey,
A
listen,
weird place.
The Everglades is very important for America. Let me tell you what.
Yeah, but now it's full of monstrous snakes eating alligators that are eating snakes and exploding.
Hey, people make a living off that, man, going down there and hunting those pythons, those boas.
There's a funny comedy with Daryl from The Office
Hmm.
in it about that actually. That was
Yeah,
a pretty good one.
I mean,
It's fun.
you can make a decent chunk of money if you catch one of the big ones. Like it's insane.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're like there's bounties on those things, and they
Hmm.
pay by the foot. Like
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy. The
it
fruit
is.
by the foot, man. They should. You know what they need to do? They need to do bounties on rats in New York City. That's how
Uh,
they'll get it done.
yeah, no, right? Seriously, Epiphany.
Yeah.
Those were actually printed for WPN stores to give out as promos.
Yeah, I
They
didn't ever think the
specifically.
yellow ones were going to be like the other ones. Like it's not a pack full.
Yeah, I mean that like obviously they have done chases obviously in the past. We knew that, but like this was a unique one for collector boxes, right? They were trying something, so and that they just happened to put on a really bad card. I would love to see the neon treatment come back on something like obviously they did it with Mana Crypt and Cavern of Souls, but I would love to see that like come back, occasionally because I really like the way they do that. And then, like look at the difference of how LCI performed, right? Before Mana
Mhm.
Crypt got banned, it was going to the moon.
I was the first idiot shining a UV, a black light on the neon ink. Man, I've seen that so many times since,
Oh yeah.
and you know, I've seen it since many
Yeah,
many
no,
times.
they're definitely cool epiphany. I opened the blue one and
Yeah,
I was elated about it. Like I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
it it's not the first time though that they did like an extra layer of ink on top of the other layers, but that was one of the first major instances of it when they made a big deal about it. It's like another layer on top of the card. You know that, like the ink. That started with the expeditions in Zendikar Rising.
Yeah,
Actually, those borders, you look at it under the light, it's like different surface. They did it um in Innistrad, the double feature set as well on the lands.
that's another one too that was pretty cool. Like Zendikar Rising had inside the set boxes like the ability to open the box toppers, right? Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was cool. So it gave you a purpose of being like, well, I can't
but
afford a collector box.
only non-foil. Only the
Yeah,
foil
but
ones.
still,
No,
there's
no, no doubt. That's awesome. Those box
it's.
toppers were in every product. I think
Hmm.
there was two in the collector boxes, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
like
that one.
that's sick. Yeah, definitely. And like that's that makes a difference. A nice like two extra packs with a big subset of good cards. You know what I mean? Like
Every
that's a
single
big
time
difference.
we've been in Vegas for MagicCon, I've bought a pack of the box topper for Zendikar just for the fun of trying to chase something big out of it, right? Like I opened crap both times, but it was fun. You know?
Freaking Pete was when Pete was ripping a lot of Zendikar, he saved all the box toppers for a while. He had like a stack of like 30 of them.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's freaking Pete. So eventually one day he ripped through all of them, man. That freaking
Yeah.
guy. Difference between legacy versus vintage. I mean, I guess just a matter of age. Like legacy, I'd say is just older stuff.
Yeah.
I guess
And
Bronze Age and
Legacy's
back at
also a
this
play
point.
format too. Legacy's also a playing format, but yeah, Legacy's definitely
Yeah,
like
you're right.
yeah.
Yeah, in
Vintage
terms
Magic
of
is just an encompassing of what I would say it's when the foils
there you go.
were
That's a
rare.
better definition.
Yeah.
You're apples and oranges right there. Legacy
Yeah.
versus vintage.
But what he's trying to say is like legacy does involve like you know, a game style, but it also, sorry, I'm in my fridge, guys. Sorry. Oh, my phone's just had 5%. Here we go. You might lose. Yep. The old didn't charge the full before this.
Yeah, I did until like right before it. So
Yeah, Epiphany. One of the things that they really messed up too was the lands that were in it too. They decided to make a whole secret layer that was just like the same lands, right, but with just a different art treatment. So they tanked like any value Senegar Rising can have to it, right? I'll put this down for a second.
True.
You guys get to see my whole porch. Here you go, guys. Anyone? Kylan's porch.
Exclusive footage.
if you donate to the cause, you'll get in his pool. I kid.
E.g. I agree with you. When they changed the old borders,
yes,
that was a very big stylistic shift for Magic, I think.
Yeah, it took a little bit to get used to Mirrodin, because I think that was when like I first was like looking at like Darksteel Mirrodin time, right? That was when, whoa, it's changing. Magic's so different looking, and then the foiling was different. I mean, obviously they tried it with 8th edition, right? Like to change the foiling, but like that was the big change, and it was tough to get used to. It really was.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, we're gonna wrap it up. It is time to do things inside with babies crying and whatnot. So let's just say thanks for coming by, Kylan, and everybody who's been watching, all the likes and views. I really appreciate it. That was a fun box break. There will be more next month, another live stream with me on Saturday night, the first Saturday of every month. I may try to push it back to 8:30 just to allow for putting the baby to bed a little bit.
Yeah.
Kylan, we're gonna try to get. I know you'd like to be established and have a few weeks under your belt before Final Fantasy, so that we have like a system going. So yeah, we're gonna try and get that going sooner rather than later. And yeah, we want a flow with this, and we got to plan that. We got, you know what? Let's make some time this week to talk about it specifically.
Sounds good.
And otherwise, take care, everybody. Thank you for coming by. Peace.
Have a good night, guys.
But this is it. Okay. Goodbye.
Peace.